Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today. But before I get started, please click the like and subscribe button as it helps this channel grow very quickly. So we're going to talk about timeline, and we're going to start with this. So Russia accelerates digital ruble work, confirms it's a way around SWIFT. And we see that they want to get it done by April of 2023. Now, I told you the second they announced their CBDC that the US was lacking behind. And I knew they're going to have to play catch up. So let's continue. So VTB sealed the first deal with digital financial assets in Russia. The deal became the first issuance and placement of digital financial assets secured by cash in the Russia Federation. You see how quick they're moving? And if Russia's saying by April 2023, you could almost bet that it's by the end of 2022. They want to beat us to this. And I'm going to give you some scenarios in a minute, but let's continue. The narrative: global data rules exclude China and Russia. India's censorship, CBDC momentum. You see how all of a sudden almost every single country is talking about CBDCs sooner after Russia announced they were getting one. Now all of a sudden almost every country in the world needs to get on board. Why? Because almost all of those countries look at Russia as an enemy. And people in the US still sit back. I'm talking about our politicians, and they're still talking about putting regulations on crypto. So Russia exploring CBDC for settlements of real estate deals. Testing state-backed digital currency for real estate settlements is already ongoing, along with testing for use in making regular payments for goods and services. And that's the thing. That's how fast they're getting things together. If we're going to sit back in the United States and worry about regulations and worrying about, everything else other than the new financial system, the US is going to be left behind in this. And I keep telling people that, and you go over on Twitter and people are like, well, I'm not for CBDC. I don't like it. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. The U.S. needs to get this done as soon as possible. Because here's the thing. We had World War I, we had World War II, we had Vietnam, we had Korea, we had the Gulf War, we had the Cold War. And I believe right now we're going into a financial war. And whoever wins in this game is going to have control of the money. Then we see this. I think Peter is more of a long-term thinker, and we don't know yet if China and Russia will back their CBDC to gold, which would make it go up 2 or 3 times, especially if the dollar loses reserve currency status. You see what I'm saying? If they get this going quicker than the U.S., what do you think happens to the U.S. dollar? What do you think the prices are going to be inside of the United States? I mean, you see it with gas right now, right? You see it with food right now. Where do you think those prices would go if we don't rush to get on board with this? So social credit is real in China, and I don't want that to happen in Europe, especially with the CBDC Digital Euro coming in 2024. Remember that date, 2024. Circle is launching a digital euro on June 30th. In terms of adoption, euro-backed stable consists of less than 1% of the total market cap of all stables. The biggest euro stable today so far is the Stasis Euro. So what date did we see there? June 30th. That's today, at the time I'm making this video. Okay, and that lady was just talking about 2024. Do you see how fast the rest of the world is trying to keep up? You see how fast the rest of the world is moving while we're still sitting here with an SEC lawsuit and a whole bunch of senators standing and screaming from the top of the mountains that they want, regulations on crypto. We need to get regulations done. But guess what? Nothing's getting done. And while we're sitting here doing nothing, the rest of the world is moving forward. Cross-border CBDC payments are viable, says report from central banks of Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and South Africa. You see it. You see the rest of the world moving. And then we see this. So how would you react if the USDC was announced tomorrow to be the US CBDC? Most people think it would be awesome. Honestly, I think it's already done. I think it's a done deal. I think USDC is our stablecoin in the US. I think that's the only thing that can give me any type of hope that the US is trying to keep up with the rest of the world. But we still need to get this lawsuit taken care of. We need to move forward. U.S. Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Congress will eventually receive guidance from the Fed on how it could implement a central bank digital currency. Let me tell you something right now. The Fed is a joke. Okay? I don't even think the Fed understands any of this. I think he just comes out and says what somebody else is writing down. And the thing is, Circle, who's creating the digital euro, also is tied to the USDC. So I don't understand how Circle just couldn't cut out the Fed at this point or down the road. The Federal Reserve is examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve an already safe and efficient domestic payment system. I mean, are you kidding me? And we see what Jerome Powell said. He said rapid changes are happening in the global monetary system. A central bank digital currency could potentially help maintain the dollar's international standing. And that's what needs to happen. We need to keep up. USDC has distinguished itself from stablecoin competitors by forging closer ties with traditional banks and reportedly being more conservative in the selection of reserves, holding only US dollar denominated cash and short-term US government bonds. To me, it sounds like Circle is actually more stable than the Fed. XRP is an intermediate bridge between CBDCs. For example, if you live in China and your boss from India sends you CBDCs from India, you can't use CBDC from India in China. So XRP and RippleNet solves this issue. They can send India CBDC and you get Chinese CBDC. It's automated. You see how XRP ties all this together? And do you see what needs to happen? I believe we're at financial war. And either U.S. doesn't think we're there yet, or they think that whatever's going on with this is ridiculous. Like they think like we're still going to hold fiat for the rest of our lives. Let's see. IMF, World Bank, central banks, G7, gold standards, the old system to QFS. Through cross-border payments with ODL Tech, on-demand liquidity, XRP Ledger, the bridge asset, gold, $35,000 per ounce, XRP, $35,000 per coin. Now can move 14 quadrillion CBDC at a blink of an eye. That's how you get to the $35,000 XRP. A lot of people look at that and they say never. It's never going to happen. Market cap's too high. Can't get there. But when you're moving that much money worldwide, I think $35,000 per coin is kind of like, okay, I could see it. You know, other people can't. They don't understand it, but I can see it. So XRP, XLM, the bridge between fiat, CBDCs, Flare Songbird, the bridge for all DeFi. Then we see this. Wake up, people. It's coming and coming fast. All the world's currencies are going digital with CBDCs very soon. Central banks need a neutral world bridge currency between them to settle all transactions. And what do we see there? The three X's that we talk a lot about on this channel. XRP, XLM, XDC. Do your own research. Financial system is changing. And I'm telling you right now, the U.S. has to rush at this point. That 2025 that you keep seeing pop up all over Twitter whenever people are saying, well, I'll buy XRP in 2024. Let me tell you something. You're going to want to buy XRP a lot sooner than that. Because even if the U.S. isn't using it, all those other countries that are rushing to get this done are still going to be using it because it has regulatory clarity in all of those countries already. It's just the United States that will be left behind. So I'm hoping that our politicians, get their act together and come out with some sort of idea. Maybe they are working on it and we just don't know about it yet. But I would think that there would be a lot more talk about it if that's what the U.S. was doing. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. With that said, I want to thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.